Yo, this is Lefty's Logic. I'm over here at the crib. I'm This video is gonna be about the football games that are on tomorrow. I got 3 games that I feel really good about, and another game I feel pretty good about. And then just kind of an upset, at least according to the bookies, it's an upset. So let's get started. All right, I got Tennessee versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis is at home. Tennessee are the 3-point favorites. Now, Tennessee's lost their last 2 meetings against the Colts. However, Marcus Mariota is playing probably the best football of his career. It's a short career, but this is his best 4-game stretch he's ever played in the NFL. Indy has the league's worst offense, at least one of them. So Mariota playing really good, and Indianapolis defense not so good. I think that Tennessee has a really good chance of beating the Colts by more than 3. Dallas versus Baltimore. Dallas is the home team. They are the 7-point favorites in football. When you're talking about just the spread, 7 points is a lot. However, usually in order to keep a team close, you have to be able to run the ball. Baltimore is averaging, I want to say, 2.8 yards per carry, and they're away at Dallas. With Dallas clicking on all cylinders, with Dak Prescott doing a great job, especially for a rookie, with Ezekiel Elliott on pace for at least 1,800 to 2,000 yards this year. He's a beast. So I would look for Dallas to win by more than 7 points at home against Baltimore. The third team is Arizona. They are away at Minnesota. Winning on the road, especially in a dome, is not easy in the NFL. But Arizona is at the time that I got the odds, and they've shifted a little bit. I think Arizona is plus 1.5, meaning they are technically the underdogs by 1.5 points. But with all of Minnesota's injuries, they've lost this year so far. They've lost their offensive coordinator. They've lost AP. They've lost Teddy Bridgewater. They've looked bad the last few weeks. I think Arizona and Carson Palmer should be able to beat them away at Minnesota. Again, it's another dome team, but like I said, I don't think Minnesota will be able to overcome the injuries. And then, you know what? I'll do a couple more games. I like Oakland at home against Houston. Brock Osweiler is one of the league's worst quarterbacks, according to QBR, according to stats. He's one of the league's worst quarterbacks. Oakland's, and I don't know how this is true, but Oakland's weakness is their pass defense. As talented and as many big names as that defense has, as many guys as they sign in free agency, their worst aspect of that defense is pass defense. But I don't think that Houston is going to be able to exploit that weakness due to their poor quarterback play this season. So Oakland is the 6-point favorite. I think they win by at least a touchdown at home against Houston. They beat, a couple weeks ago, they had on paper, which was a pick'em game against Denver at home, and they won comfortably. So I think Houston is not even on Denver's level. I think Oakland probably wins by at least 10 points, but for sure they're going to cover the 6-point spread. Detroit, this is the 5th game. giving you a little bit more than what I thought I was going to. Let's do Detroit is playing against Jacksonville at home. Again, that's another dome team. Detroit is the favorite by 6.5 points. And Detroit on the road, which I'll probably get to in another video. I didn't spend a lot of money on this bet, but I was in Vegas, me and a couple friends could have won $10,000 on a huge parlay we did that we would have had to have guessed 9 teams right. And the Detroit Green Bay game a couple weeks ago cost us a lot of money. So Detroit, I think, is going to beat, they're the 6.5 point favorites, which means that they have to win by 7 points in order to cover the spread against Jacksonville. And even though the game turned out to be close at the end against Green Bay at Lambeau, Detroit is at home against, even though Green Bay isn't that good this season so far, Jacksonville still isn't on Green Bay's level, and they've struggled all year. Blake Bortles hasn't been able to do anything all year. He's struggling in his QB mechanics and his arm mechanics, and I don't think that's going to get better on the road at Detroit. So, given that they beat Aaron Rodgers, at Lambeau, I think they beat Blake Bortles at home by more than 7 points, probably 10 or so, at least. So speaking of Aaron Rodgers, this was kind of the pick'em game that I had. Green Bay upsets Washington, or at least they cover the spread. That's all I care about. So Green Bay are the 2.5 point underdogs, which means they can't lose by more than 2 points. I think they beat Washington, or even if they lose by 1 or 2, I'm still good. But that's my pick'em game. I got Green Bay over Washington, or at least covering the spread, and not losing by more than 3. So this is Lefty's Logic. If you have any suggestions for any other videos, any other content that you might be interested in, I'll look into it and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Right now I'm doing boxing, baseball, football. This is more of a Vegas bookie kind of, I don't want to say gambling, but kind of from that perspective. I could do fantasy football next week. Just give me a week to prepare for the vid. And this is Lefty's Logic. Don't forget about the fight tonight. Lefty's out. See ya.